Hey everyone, just a heads up, I'm going to be moving my After School Democracy podcast from Blueberry, which is $20 a month with limited upload space, to Anchor, which is free but has less control and more ads. Some of you who have listened to my Vaults of Anubis podcast may have experienced that. When I started this podcast, I was getting around $25 on Patreon, so I thought having a podcast version of the show would boost my listeners and hopefully more patrons. Nope. Seems my listeners are just as broke as I am, and my two biggest patrons, who will always get a shout out for as long as this channel still exists, hit financial issues and had to stop supporting me after 2 years. In fact, Jo even wrote me profusely apologizing that she couldn't sponsor me anymore, and I responded with, "No, please don't apologize. I'm just honored you thought my content was worth sponsoring and spending around $200 over time on my work." However, my Patreon is now a puddle of less than $5 a month, and I'm losing money by staying on Blueberry, so I'll be shifting it over to Anchor, and you can expect more ads, including sponsored ads I read, making me feel like a dirty sellout, cheap shill. But hey, even people who are solid anti-capitalists that I admire do it, so you gotta pay the bills, right? The podcasts and videos that make money require drama, cartoon drawings, ad-lib, comedy, acting, or really good video quality. As I have none of these skills, and I'm more reading a heavily researched and dense article or opinion piece, I've come to accept that my channel is not something that would ever make that much money, and that's okay. Research ain't sexy, or newspapers and journalists wouldn't be floundering. So just a heads up about the change, Anchor is essentially the YouTube of podcasts, free unlimited space, but they get to decide how to market it and use your podcasts. There's some misgivings I've had, but I've avoided putting up videos onto my podcast format because they've broken my data cap and I had to put off more podcasts for 2 weeks. This will get me back on track, and we'll see where this channel goes. Also, in case you were wondering what happened to a Vaults of Anubis podcast, I've only really had 50 listens to it out of 7 episodes, so I haven't really been driven to add more to it. I have to admit, my old stuff really is pretty dry. I may add some later, who knows, it depends on where this goes. Thanks for the support and continuing to watch. Take care. A big thank you goes out to Elias Garcia Guevara and Joe Taylor, who sponsor the show at $10 a month at the Wapawet level on Patreon. Please consider donating as well if you can, and thank you all for listening.